Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. We are back at it with another review. However, I can't lie. It's been a while since we reviewed a Stag. So this is Stag Batch 23B. Yes, Stag Batch 23B. But hey, before we dive into Stag and everything related to Stag and so forth, let me go ahead and give a huge welcome to our newest patrons. So let me give a shout out to my good friend Brian M., Stevenson C., Brandon A., and Carl W. So Carl, Brandon, Stevenson, and Brian, welcome to the Judge family. Truly welcome. You know, we try to have a little bit of fun on our neck of the woods. A little bit of fun, right? Barrel picks, happy hours, you name it. We always have a lot of fun, right? We truly do. So welcome, gentlemen, as well as I should say thank you to all my other patrons as well. Honestly, truly, everything that I do now truly would not exist without my patrons. So thank you very much for all the love and support, as well as all the subscribers who watch the channel as well. Thank you all as well. Truly do appreciate it. All right. So, Stag used to be called Stag Jr., which is crazy. So, if you're thinking about just Stag in general, kind of going back, it used to be called Stag Jr. It was the little brother of George T. Stagg from the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. So, when you think about it, like what are similarities, what are differences as a whole? A couple things, right? So this is truly just Stag, where George T. Stagg is, again, from the Antique Collection. Bottle sizes, they look completely different, first and foremost. So this is George T. Stagg from the Antique Collection. And this bad boy over here is truly now just regular Stag. No longer Stag Jr. All right, let me go ahead and open this one up so I can air out a little bit. But when you think about just Stag itself, so a couple of things come to mind. Number one, it's supposed to release like 2 to 3 times per year. It kind of changes. Every year is different. I know like in 2022, I think they had 2 releases. Last year, they had 3 releases. But this one is 23B. The cool thing about it is that, let me go ahead and pop this real quick. Don't you love that sound? I love that sound. The cool thing about it is that years ago, when you were hunting for Stag or Stag Jr., kind of going old school there, when you were hunting for it, you had to truly look at the proof and then just Google to see exactly what batch number it was before. Now, luckily, finally, Buffalo Trace decided to make it a little bit easier for us. So they actually have on the bottom right-hand corner the batch number. So this says 23B, right? So 23 for the year, and then B for the release. So 23B. So they finally added that to the front of the label. So no longer do you have to actually search for it. Thank goodness. Took a while, but we finally got there. Thank you, Buffalo Trace. So obviously this is a very highly allocated release, right? So when I do highly allocated releases, as I've always said, it's not so much about, well, Judge, if I find this, how much would you pay for it, for example? So I will give at the end, not only the MSRP, but also how much I would pay for it. But it's more about, should I find it and at least like at a bourbon bar and have like a pour of it? That's what it's all about in my experience, right? Because a lot of times it is really hard to find these bottles at MSRP. So I understand that. But again, it's all about whether or not if you should try to find it at a bourbon bar and grab a pour of it. Cool? All right. So what do we know about just regular Stag, like the age of it and so forth? So the age is said to be about anywhere from like 7 to 9 years. Again, there's no exact age statement. We do know it's obviously full barrel proof, right? Barrel proof, uncut, unfiltered. Age anywhere from 7 to 9 years on average. Definitely very highly allocated, as we discussed earlier. Oh man, that nose is so just, goodness gracious. Tons of chocolate and leather. My goodness. So age 7 to 9 years. MSRP, which is also what I paid for. I was very fortunate. I got a call from one of my local connects. It is a $65 bottle. That's MSRP. Now again, obviously, unfortunately, when you find it in stores, it can be at $65 if you have a really good connection, or most times, unfortunately, it's marked up double. 150, 200, 250, 300. It's just unfortunately very crazy from that perspective. Every store has different prices. Again, unfortunately. Oh man. Where the key difference, honestly, between the two is the age. This one's age anywhere from 7 to 9 years, where the Antique Collection is typically always age about 15 years. So that's like the key difference between regular Stag, aka Stag Jr., or Buffalo Trace Antique Collection Stag. That's the George T. Stagg. That's the main key difference. Oh, man. So what is the proof on this one? So batch 23B, the proof is 127.8. All right, not bad at all. 127.8. All right. So the nose is everything you would want for a Stag product. Tons of leather, tons of chocolate. Oh my gosh. Oak. I mean, that's really it. It's oak, it's leather, it's chocolate, and a smidge of like maple syrup, and a little bit of like those darker fruits, like the darker like plums and like blackberries. Oh gosh. It's been a while. Goodness gracious, it's been a while since I've actually had a new bottle of Stag. Gosh, I can't remember the last. I think maybe batch 17. Maybe batch 17 or batch 16. It's been a long time, so even I haven't found one in the wild recently. It's been a minute. All right, here we go, folks. Cheers, everybody. Goodness. Whew. Whew. Wow, that's powerful. Stag is always powerful. Never disappoints from a power standpoint. Wow. All right. I'm going to need another sip of this. But real quick, 3 quick easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Wow, that was powerful. Drop me a comment. Let me know, have you tried batch 23B? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? And last but not least, please also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notification each and every time I release new content. Cool? All right. Oh man, all right. I'm going in for another sip, boy. Stag is definitely some powerful whiskey. I'll tell you that much. Wow. Whew. Very powerful, very bold, very rich. It lives like in that category with other cask strength whiskeys, such as like, I think of like a lot of like the Elijah Craig releases, maybe even, oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different, I mean, cask strength ones that are similar to this, but I mean, Elijah Craig is probably the one that lives closest, like in that same lane. Maybe even honestly like a 1792 foolproof could also kind of play in that same kind of ballpark. Very dark leather, chocolate forward. Excellent. This is everything, and I mean every bit of 127, yeah, 127.8 proof. It's every bit of 127.8 proof. The nose matches the palate for sure. So Judge, two verdicts. Number 1, is it a buy, do not buy, or leave it on the shelf at MSRP? And also, second verdict, what is the most you would pay for it? All right. One last sip before I dive into that. Cheers again. Wow, that is good. Damn, that's good. All right. First verdict. Is it a buy at MSRP? Obviously. Dead giveaway. Yes, it is. Clear as day. I mean, this is obviously a fantastic, and I mean fantastic bottle of whiskey at MSRP. But Judge, what is the most that you would pay for it? So for me personally, I honestly would, I mean, I'm not going to tell Buffalo Trace this. Let's be crystal clear. Let's keep this amongst friends. I would probably pay double, honestly. I really would. I probably would pay like 120, 130-ish. I truly would. And again, like I said in the beginning, I think it's one where it's hard to find at MSRP. Honestly, even harder to find, even at double MSRP, which is sad, and that's unfortunate. But I do think it's one that you should absolutely look for in a really good bourbon bar and grab a pour of it. It's everything you want in a quintessential cask strength foolproof whiskey. It really is. And especially this time of the year where it's cold and freezing out, I'm taking this bad boy outside to smoke with a good cigar. That's just me. Hey, my friends, until the next time, peace, cheers, most important, salute. Take care, everyone. See ya.